Okay, so the BBC had an article on this new extreme Islamic law that's being introduced in Brunei. I obviously made a previous video about this, but I just want to add a little bit to it because, predictably, sadly, and sickeningly, there are people crawling out of their little swamp to defend this law. Um, you know what I find really galling? Well, not only defend the law, but praise the Sultan, praise Brunei, and say that other countries need to follow suit. One guy even had the gall to say that other countries need to punish the inhumane act of gay sex. So, I have a few things to say. Firstly, this is not about being for gay sex. Okay, I'm straight. I am. I'm a straight man. I like women, but what two gay men do really doesn't affect me. It doesn't hurt me. And if you're so insecure, if you're so angry about what other people do in their bedrooms, what does that say about you? It's not like they're trying to convert you, unless you're paranoid. Sultan Bakaya is one of the richest men in the world. He's also one of the most regressive, backward, callous, inhumane thugs in the world, in my opinion. What's my basis for that? Because he is introducing this law to appease the lowest level of humanity. This is a man who believes it is right to stone fellow human beings to death. I don't care what wealth he has, I don't care how popular he is in Brunei. To civilize people, he is a thug. Sultan Bakaya deserves no respect, and we sure as hell should not be rolling out the red carpet for him anytime soon. And to Bruneians who get offended by this, good. You are a backward country. You're an uncivilized country. You deserve no respect. And I spit on this law because I have a gay friend, and the idea of that happening to him simply for who he is, not hurting anyone else, turns my stomach. And it isn't just for homosexuals. Alleged adulterers will also be punished this way. Now, bear in mind, Islamic law, the definition of adulterer could be a woman who is raped. That's what these backward Islamic countries think of. And of course, it's not surprising to see a lot of Muslims come out and defend it, but another group of people who often, and I can't say group of people because I'm talking about a continent, but the fact of the matter is there is a lot of conservative Africans who come out and defend laws like this. But what I find incredibly galling is that very often the same people play the victim. What I mean by that is when we talk about aid to developing countries, very often they'll bring up the colonialist card. Like, oh, the wicked Western countries exploited us and they treated us badly. And there's truth in that, there is. But the same people have no problem persecuting others. They have no problem persecuting minorities in in their society. So they play the victim when it suits them. But when it comes to persecuting gay people, when it comes to persecuting other minorities, then it's our internal affairs. I just find this absolutely sickening. I mean, not that Brunei is a major exporter, but I really think Western countries need to throw respect out the window. Just for once, we need to show backbone and just cut off all ties with this nasty little regime. And I'm well aware there's other Islamic countries do the same thing. But because this is a new law, we can send out a message. We should be summoning the ambassador of Brunei right now, demanding answers. demanding to know what rational justification there is for stoning fellow human beings to death. And unless this is overturned, we should take the view, okay, it's your internal laws and it's our decision who we want to do dealings with. I think this is a time that Britain can show some backbone, show that we still have some moral leadership in the world, cut off all trade. And if it's a Commonwealth country, we should push for getting it expelled. I can't remember. I think Brunei is a Commonwealth country. It's absolutely disgusting. George Clooney, to his credit, has kind of launched an initiative to boycott hotel chains associated with Brunei. Though there was also some criticism that he wouldn't name Islamic fundamentalism by name. Nevertheless, he's doing more than some are, so that's something. Where the Sultan needs to be hit is where he hurts, which is money. You know, he's. I don't think any boycotts or anything is going to make him poor, but I want to see him personally suffer. I want to see this sick man personally impacted by this. And again, Bruneians who get offended, I don't care. I don't care. You offend me. You offend me with your barbaric, backward attitude to human rights. I'm sick and tired of this idea that Western countries need to tread carefully. No. For once, we need to show some backbone and just say we're going to make a stand. We may not be able to change the law, but what we can do is cut off trade. We can cut off ties. And if there is any aid going there, um, I understand the Sultan's wealth means that it doesn't get as much aid as some developing countries, but if there is any aid going there, cut it all off. And the next time that Brunei has a cyclone, frankly, we need to be cold. We need to say no. If the population there supports this barbaric law, why should we show them compassion? That might sound very harsh, but maybe it's time that we do start taking harsh measures. Because usually I would say, oh, well, that's above politics. But on this issue, most Bruneians support it. So why should we support them? If they're going to treat their fellow human beings in such an inhumane way, why should British taxpayers be giving aid? The next time a natural disaster hits that country, let them sort it out themselves and then see if it's Allah's divine will. This is not about telling people you have to like gay sex. No one's saying you have to agree with gay sex. But the issue is stoning fellow human beings to death is barbaric. And what I find interesting, what I find ironic, is people who have access to the internet, these backward Islamists who have access to the internet, and yet they have a mindset stuck in the dark ages. Bizarre. I would write to the Foreign Office, but I'm not overly enthusiastic that anything will be done.